Have you ever wondered what separates the ultra-wealthy from everyone else? I'm not talking about those who inherited their fortune. I'm talking about the ones who started with absolutely nothing. No safety net, no rich parents, no powerful connections. Just an idea and a burning desire to succeed. So many people believe it all comes down to luck, a lucky break, or being in the right place at the right time. But what if I told you the difference isn't luck at all? It's how they think. The secrets are hidden in their daily habits, their reactions to failure, and their perspective on money. Today, you're going to discover the core mindset that separates the ultra-wealthy from the crowd. And more importantly, you'll learn how you can start copying that exact mindset today, right now, regardless of where you're starting from. Let me tell you a story about someone I know named Sarah. When Sarah graduated from college, she was in a situation many of us can relate to. She had $30,000 in student loan debt hanging over her head and had just landed her first entry-level job, which didn't pay much at all. For most people, this is where the story stalls. They'd settle into a routine, live paycheck to paycheck, and just hope for a small annual raise to maybe get ahead someday. But Sarah didn't do that. She did something radically different. Instead of seeing her small paycheck as a limitation, she saw it as a starting point. Every tiny financial win, whether it was a $50 bonus or $100 saved by budgeting, wasn't just money to be spent. It was an opportunity. It was seed money for her future. She started a tiny side hustle editing resumes for people online. The first $100 she made didn't go towards a new pair of shoes. It went into a course on digital marketing. That course taught her how to build a website. Her website brought in more clients. The income from that side hustle didn't go to a fancier apartment. It went into a low-cost index fund. In just 3 years, while her colleagues were still complaining about their salaries, Sarah had built 3 different income streams and was watching her investment portfolio grow steadily. The key takeaway here isn't her salary. It was never about the salary. It was her entire approach to money, her relentless pursuit of learning, and her willingness to take small, calculated risks. So, why do most people struggle to build wealth, even when they have a decent income? It boils down to a few common traps. The first is the habit of spending first and thinking later. A bonus comes in, and immediately, we think about what we can buy with it, rather than how we can grow it. The money is gone before it ever had a chance to work for us. The second trap is avoiding all risks, even smart, calculated ones. We're so afraid of losing $100 that we miss out on the opportunity to turn it into 1,000. We see risk as a threat, not as a tool. Third, and this is a big one, most people stop actively learning the day they leave school. They read for entertainment, not for education. They consume content passively, instead of seeking out knowledge that can be directly applied to improve their financial situation. And finally, there's the expectation of overnight results. We try something for a month, don't see massive returns, and give up, concluding that it doesn't work. Meanwhile, the individuals who build extraordinary wealth from scratch operate on a completely different set of principles. They are obsessed with the power of compounding. Not just compounding money, but compounding knowledge, compounding skills, and compounding effort. They understand that small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, lead to exponential results. They willingly embrace temporary discomfort, like living below their means or spending their weekends learning a new skill, because they have their eyes fixed on the long-term gain. They're playing a different game entirely. This is where the crucial mindset shift happens. You need to stop waiting for a lucky break and start thinking like a wealth builder. It's not about needing a huge sum of money to start. It's about changing how you view the money you already have. Let's reframe those traps we talked about. First, reinvestment. Every single dollar you earn or save is not just for spending. It's a seed. It's potential fuel for your next move. Whether it's profit from a side project or a small amount you save from your grocery bill, that money has a job to do, to make more money. Second, calculated risks. The wealthy don't gamble, but they aren't afraid of risk. They risk something small to learn something big or to grow something bigger. They ask, what's the worst that can happen? If the downside is losing a small, manageable amount, but the upside is a new skill or a potential new income stream, that's a risk worth taking. Third, lifelong learning. You have to make a commitment to absorb knowledge faster than you spend money. This means dedicating time every single day to learning about investing, business, marketing, or personal finance. Knowledge is the ultimate multiplier for your money. And finally, patience, and resilience. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to understand that the small wins you achieve today are the foundation for the massive results you'll see tomorrow. Think of your first $100 like a single seed. The amount itself seems insignificant. But where you plant that seed, whether it's in fertile ground where it can grow or on concrete where it will wither, matters more than anything. So, how do you put this into practice? Let's get really practical with some actionable steps you can start taking this week. First, reinvest your first $100. I want you to find $100. Maybe you save it, maybe you earn it from a small task. But don't spend it. Reinvest it. Buy a course on a high-income skill like copywriting or video editing. Purchase a few tools to start a small service-based side hustle, like a lawnmower for a neighborhood landscaping service or a premium subscription to a design tool. Start a small project online. The goal is to use that money to create more value, not just consume. Second, track your knowledge wins. Make a non-negotiable commitment to spend at least 30 minutes every single day consuming content that makes you smarter. This could be reading a book on investing, watching YouTube tutorials on starting a business, or listening to a podcast about personal finance. Track it in a notebook. Write down one key takeaway every single day. This creates a habit of continuous learning. Third, start a risk experiment. This doesn't have to be scary. Take a small, calculated step into the unknown. Maybe you list a spare item on Facebook Marketplace to learn about online sales. Maybe you create a simple digital product, like a printable planner, and try to sell it for $5. The point isn't to get rich overnight. The point is to get comfortable with taking action, testing ideas, and learning from the results, win or lose. And finally, visualize your long-term growth. Keep a notebook or a document where you track your wins, no matter how small. Made my first $10 online. Finished a book on asset allocation. Automated one bill payment. When you see these small wins accumulating, you start to physically see the power of compounding in action. This will keep you motivated on the days when you feel like you're not making progress. It's these tiny, consistent actions that, over time, create a massive chasm between wealth creators and everyone else. I want you to take a moment and imagine yourself 5 years from now. Every ultra-wealthy person who started from scratch was once exactly where you are right now, at the beginning. Their success wasn't because of luck or some unfair privilege. It was a direct result of how they chose to think, react, and act, day in and day out, with relentless consistency. Imagine that in 5 years, you haven't just been working at your job. You've been investing, you've been experimenting, you've been learning. The multiple income streams you dreamed of are now a reality. Your investment portfolio is growing on its own. Your financial freedom is no longer a distant dream, it's your reality. It's not just possible, it's inevitable if you follow these principles. So here's my challenge to you. This week, I want you to find $100. Take that $100 and reinvest it. Reinvest it into yourself by buying a book or a course, or into a small side venture you can start immediately. And I want you to document what happens. Document what you learn from the experience. Remember, every dollar, every new skill, every small experiment, it all compounds. If you commit to thinking differently starting today, wealth isn't just a possibility, it's your next chapter. If you're ready to start training your wealth mindset every single day, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and let's start building together.